Welcome back to Restauranttopia. I'm here with Brian Seitz. This is Dave Ross, and we are here to talk about restaurants because that's who we speak to, that's who we're about, and that's what we're going to do.
Local independent restaurants.
Local independent restaurants, of course.
No. So if you're the king or the clown, turn it off. Not on my watch.
Turn around. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Nope.
All right, Brian. We got a great episode today. I'm excited about this one because this is kind of a core belief in our company, and I think hopefully we can deliver this in a way that people can adapt it in theirs.
Yeah, this can be a short episode, but I think really to the point. It's really impactful when you break it down. When you're looking at a new hire, we put together 6 kind of bullet points to think about, and if you write this down when you're interviewing somebody and you go through this and then you do a post-mortem on the interview, I think it will change how you hire and who you hire.
Yeah, no, I agree. So let's talk about it. Don't hire for skill, hire for personality.
Imagine a perfect world where you can build a restaurant, open the doors, and make loads of money. Unfortunately, those days are over. It takes great leadership, hard work, and long hours to operate a successful restaurant. Together, we can make it happen. This is Restauranttopia.
Jingle time. Dave, that was really good intro. I'm so glad you did that live. That was good. That was strong.
Let's do it live.
There's no pre-recording here. It's all live, all the time.
We're coming in hot. So Brian, tell us what you got, man. You got some bullet points on this. I think this is some great stuff.
Yeah, I think where a lot of people fail in any business is hiring the right team. 2 key elements to any organization is, are you able to hire the right people? And then are you able to keep them on the team?
Right.
If you put together a framework that helps you find the right people for your team, that's going to be a game changer.
No, I agree. And I think the formula, you just said it, hire the best talent and retain the best talent. You know what I mean? So if any successful organization, any successful sports team, any really just any successful group of people, the leader is the person who is hiring the best talent and retaining those people.
Yeah.
And that's the name of the game.
And the team that plays together the longest is going to do better. I mean, if you absolutely have to keep on looking backwards at a location, you're never going to go to location 4 if you always have to go back to location number 2 and fix it. You always have to get a new GM. You're always replacing the kitchen manager. So if you can put together great teams, I'm telling you, your likelihood of success isn't just like 3 times, it's like 10 times.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I put together our short list, what we have at Hillcrest, as really kind of our outline of what we're looking for in an employee. If you're applying for a job at Hillcrest, there's a little peel back the onion, a little inside baseball. So number 1, what we look for, great human being.
Yeah, no, for sure. How do you think you identify that in an interview? Because it seems like something that would be a little bit difficult to discern because everybody's putting on their first impression, their first, like everybody's got their first interview personality, I suppose.
It is difficult to discern. And that's why when I'm interviewing somebody for a top level position within our company, I'm getting a ton of reps. I'm doing multiple interviews and I'm having other people on my team interview them.
Yeah.
It may seem annoying as far as like, it's going to take you longer, but it's also it saves you so much time in the long run because you know if they're going to be a great human being.
Yeah, no, I agree. Reps are important. The frequency of seeing them, because I think as you start meeting somebody frequently, you start understanding like, okay, I had this feeling in the first interview, second interview felt a little better. Like I'm gaining momentum. Or if it's going the opposite way, you can, cut it down. But we've hired people, I mean, just in basic, sales positions. I mean, there's been 5 or 6 interviews. With different people. I mean, easily. I bet I was David's neighbor and I still had probably 15 interviews. Yeah.
And with everybody.
Sure.
And I think that goes into my strong suit. And number 2, highly likable.
Highly likable.
Highly
I've
likable.
heard highly punchable. But highly likable, if you want to go that direction today, that's fine.
I have gotten a little social media pushback on no beard. I shaved it, but I'm going back to the beard here next week.
No, high likability is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when people come to work and, you have, I mean, and anybody that's got high likability, like, them immediately. They walk into the room and there's an attraction. There's there's something going on with that person. They have some charisma or have something that makes you want to have conversations and engage with and do those things, rather than somebody that walks in and you feel like you got to be a little bit on eggshells, or you got to like watch how you act or what you say, and cater yourself and your own personality to who they are. I
have the cell phone test. If this person calls you, are you excited to pick up the phone, or you're like, I'd rather that go to voicemail? So if it's like immediate, I want to talk to that person, that's high likability. If you look at the phone and you like
take a deep breath and sigh,
that person's not highly likable,
right?
And you probably shouldn't hire them.
Yeah. No, and I think that's something you find out very quickly, probably in the first, and then that's something that builds. But that's something that identifies itself pretty quickly. Somebody comes in, they're genuine. The responses to the questions seem like they're not just canned up first interview stuff. Like they're open enough. Maybe they're not uncovering their whole life to you, but they're open enough to where you feel that genuineness, you feel that likability, you feel those things. So huge point.
And I think that no matter what aspect of your organization, whether it's a salesperson at Hillcrest or a front of house manager, it doesn't matter. That's critical. Number 3.
Well, and here's another. Just before you go on to the next point, like just because they're maybe not a customer facing employee, likability, just for internal reasons.
It's universal.
You know what I mean? Like, so it doesn't have to be a front of the house manager. It could be, a line cook, or, honestly, it could be the dishwasher, for God's sakes. I mean, Like, you don't want people with a bad attitude or not likable, or having certain personality traits that are going to disrupt order in your kitchen too.
That goes to the inspiration for this podcast. The Inc. article, "Don't hire for skill, hire for personality instead." And that's really what it's about. Is that person a pleasure to be around? And again, not that like I'm not a pleasure to be around probably 75% of the time, but again, I think people tend to like me.
Brian's self-deprecating. Brian's a great guy.
Yeah, but
Brian checks the boxes.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to make everyone like me.
Right.
It's just an inherent quality. Like
but I think it's okay even if you have that personality that you want people to like you. I think that's a good personality, because I have a little bit of that. I feel like it's made me successful, because when I feel people that maybe aren't jiving with me, or you know what I mean, like I want to figure out like, how do I get this person to like, you know what I mean? It's not an ingenuine thing. It's like, I honestly want to be liked.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
It rolls right into that.
Number 3, can we change their life?
This is an important one.
Yeah, I think this one is not talked about enough. As an employer, that person is giving up their life to you, and they're not just a number. They're not just the whatever position that they hold. Like, they're part of your team. They're part of your family. And are you able to change their life? I've had this all the time where it's I'm looking at a business scenario and someone wants to be an entrepreneur, and the guy makes $250. I'm like, man, you make $250. Like, there's a possibility of doing something entrepreneurial that you could make $300, but there's also a possibility that you could make $42,000 a year.
Right. Yeah. A lot more of those. Yeah.
So, I'm not saying you have to give people $250,000 opportunities, but if you give someone who's been making $50,000 a year $65,000, it's going to change their life.
No, and I agree. I think this is overlooked quite a bit. And it's, I don't think it's all of a sudden, I don't think it's all income too. It's the type of job.
Yeah.
So if you're taking somebody from, let's say they, were doing the long hours in a restaurant, and you had them the ability and had the right personality going to maybe like catering sales, or, so even different positions, within the industry that just are maybe even a better lifestyle. Income's important. Obviously, you got to pay people.
No, but that's just one aspect of it.
Right.
I mean, do you have a structure where they don't have to work, 70 hours,
right?
That they can work 60.
Yeah.
And think about that, giving someone 10 hours a week back of their time if they're a salaried individual. That's important.
Yeah. Or do you have your systems and scheduling set up to where your operation doesn't need 60, 70-hour employees? Maybe you're doing something creative like the 4-day work weeks and those different things that give somebody a better lifestyle, more time with their family, more, the other thing could be, your concept. You could be a breakfast lunch joint that closes at 3:00, and this person's always worked nights and weekends.
Yep.
That's a game changer. You know what I mean? So, all those things are going into how can I change those prospective employees' lives when they work for me? They can't necessarily find that same opportunity somewhere else, income, lifestyle, whatever it is.
I'm going to go one step further that we're going to talk about in a future episode, but benefits. Is there a way that you can provide some sort of benefits to them that they may not otherwise be able to get?
Right.
So I think there's a lot of things, and it's just, can you give them opportunities to advance?
Yeah. No, upward mobility. Absolutely. Very important.
But the interesting thing I like about this is a little looking inward to the company. Can you do for them?
Yeah.
Not what can they do for you?
Right.
What can you do for them?
Yeah, and think about how much better your organization can be if you sat down and you said, how can I change my employees' lives for the better?
Yeah.
And just started there with a blank piece of paper. Man, I mean, that's a nice workshap.
That's a great workshop. And that, to me, has so much long-term value. One thing I'm going to talk about in an episode is compensation for front of house managers and the kitchen and the chef or the kitchen manager. I believe that if you want to really supercharge your organization, is that you do a profit share. 10% of profits to the chef or the front of house manager, and then 5% to vice versa. I think that's a game changer, but I'll go into detail on another episode on that. The fourth one, will they be with us for life? That's what we look for, because I said it earlier. The team that plays together the longest is going to win. You're really going to see a compounding effect of a team that plays together a long time. So we really want that person to be with us for life. If they're a job hopper, if they're like, I just know this person in 2 years is going to want to move to California, like it's probably not the right fit.
Yeah. And the restaurant business is a little more transient. And I know that, maybe for your top level positions, your managers and things, you're looking more for that. But I would say, like, if you have that mindset that I'm in a transient business and that's what my business is and that's what it's going to be, like, I think you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball to begin with.
I agree.
Like again, I think it's another workshop with the blank piece of paper to say, what can I do to keep these employees for life?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What can I offer? What can I have? What's
going to make it so they're not going to cross the street for 50 cents?
Exactly.
When we go into Amazing Operators and the staff has been there 20, 25 years, it's amazing, right?
Oh yeah, it runs completely different.
Yeah, it's like, well, they're not in a different industry. They're in the restaurant industry.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's happening out there.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not happening. It's just maybe not common.
Yeah, no. Number 5, this one's near and dear to my heart, coachable. And I think this is tough because not everyone's coachable. First, the employee has to know that you love and care about them to take coaching, but they have to have something, in them to be able to be coachable.
Sure.
I mean, I think.
Yeah, no, I think that's a quality for life, man. I mean, I think, if you think you've got it all figured out, the game's over. You know what I mean? Like, you got to constantly be, Sean Walchef says, his greatest attribute is curiosity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to be curious. You got to be challenging. You got to be accepting of other people's ways of looking at things. You know what I mean?
Well, and it goes to.
And things change. What you know today is not going to be what you need to know tomorrow.
It's not going to be tacos, barbecue chicken, and what else is the hot thing out right now?
Whatever it is.
Yeah. Bubble tea.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I mean, like...
Well, and also, listen, talk to me 5 years ago about third-party delivery. Oh, I would have told you, run for the hills. Don't do this. This is the dumbest thing. Like, they're taking all your money. Get out. I was adamant. I mean, I was coaching restaurateurs. Do not do this. It's a scam.
Yeah. Number 6, and we'll wrap this up, but I think it's so true. Fun and a little competitive. I think you have to be not super competitive, but a little competitive.
Yeah.
You want to win. You want to be successful. You want the organization to do good because you're on that team.
Yeah, I mean, you should care about the results.
Yeah. No, but you see people and they're like, who cares? And that, that goes back to why I think profit share is so important, because then you get to have a little bit of an ability to win on the upside. But if that person is competitive, they don't want to be on a losing team. I want 0 losses on my team.
Yeah.
It's not, this isn't the NFL where I can go, 500 and make the playoffs. Like,
right. Oh, well, if you're in the NFC, maybe.
Well.
But to be with people and have fun and, because listen, the work is hard. The restaurant business is not easy. Okay. So if you've got people that have a fun personality and have a little bit of competitiveness and, want to do well, it's going to bode well for the whole organization.
No. Every job is work. But if you go into it and you're like, I like the work, no matter what it is, it's not always going to be fun. It's not always going to be, big paydays, but if you like to work, you have to love the process, and you have to find those types of people who enjoy work, no matter what the work is.
Yeah. No, for sure. So if somebody was driving and we had to like sum up these bullet points, let's run down. So number 1,
great human, highly likable, we can change their life, be with us for life, coachable, fun, and a little competitive. There you are.
That's a recipe for an amazing employee.
Yeah, and it'll help your organization grow, and it'll take you to the next level.
We'll put the article link in the show notes, the Inc. article that kind of inspired this episode and made us be introspective in how we're doing things in our business. But this article starts off with, you can train for skills, you can gain experience, but you can't train for attitude.
It's true.
And that's what all this is about. So
think about it. You could have the best chef, and if he's got a shitty attitude, it's going to destroy your organization.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate your time.
Brian, thanks, man.
This is a high-quality pod. Thank you, everybody.
Cut. Adios.
Thank you for listening to Restaurantopia. The gratitude that we have for each and every one of you spending your precious time to listen to this podcast is immeasurable. Please make sure to tell a friend about this podcast. And also, if you have any feedback for us, visit us on restaurantopia.com and drop us a line. You can also subscribe on your favorite place to listen to podcasts. Thank you and have a great day.
We are excited to announce the Restaurantopia VIP Text Club. Join by texting the word podcast to 844-928-4257. You will get access to exclusive content, industry news, deals, announcements, pro tips, and more. The VIP Text Club is an exclusive community of independent restaurant owners and professionals. Join today. Message and data rates may apply. Please check our website for our terms of service and privacy policy.
We also want to thank our sponsor, Hillcrest Food Service. If you are a local independent restaurant and are looking for a distributor who has chef and operational consulting, provides marketing support, does menu reviews, and most importantly, wants you to be successful, reach out to Hillcrest Food Service at hillcrestfoods.com.